Now there's a lot of misinformation out there about running shoes, so in this video I thought it'd be absolutely awesome to sort of debunk some of those running shoe myths. What is up everybody, and welcome to FORDY Runs. Now my name is Chris Ford, and when I'm not in love with running shoes, I'm actually a running coach based here in the UK, working with loads of runners across this beautiful British Isles. Okay, so there's a lot of, what's the best way to describe it? Rubbish. Now, if you don't know what that means, if you're in America, look it up, Google it. But there's a lot of nonsense spoken about running shoes, and there's a lot of myths out there about running shoes. So, as always, I'm going to keep it real at FORDY Runs, and I'm going to try and sort of debunk some of those running shoe myths today in this video. Now, some of these myths can actually hinder performance, I think, because you sort of hear something, you believe something, and that impacts your buying decision or your purchase thoughts and things like that. You know, you might get a bit confused about what's actually going on with some of these running shoes. So that's why I wanted to do this video. We're going to sort of run through 3 or 4, maybe 5 of these sort of myths that are out there, and I'm going to put you straight on some of them. Now, you may disagree with some of these, and you're welcome to. Let me know in the comments, but keep it nice, people. Keep it nice. Okay, people, so the first myth is about cushioning. Now, recently, we've seen stack heights increase to obscene levels, and the myth is out there that the more cushioning the better, and it's common belief that cushioning, or the more cushioning, actually protects your feet and joints. But there are actually studies out there, if you just Google this, that show that too much cushioning can actually affect your running form and increase the risk of injury. Now, I've seen this multiple times, people running along with their, I don't know, whatever shoe they are, and they're pronating like this and they're pronating like this, and it's causing all sorts of issues, people. So just take it with a pinch of salt about this extra cushioning, these extra stack heights. It doesn't always mean that it protects your joints and your muscles. Next myth, expensive means better quality. Now, Nike shoes are terrible quality. They really, really are. Some of their shoes are absolutely terrible. And they're quite expensive as well. You know, the Invincible 3, for example, is like, what is it, £180? And also, price doesn't equal performance. And actually, some of the brands out there are a little bit more affordable, and I'm not just picking on Nike, but some of the brands out there that are a little bit more affordable will offer the same amount of performance and the same amount of quality, but you will pay less. And it's well known that, like, Adidas shoes, for example, which are brilliant, do tend to get discounted down more than the Nike shoes. So my point to you is, don't always pay up, right? Just because it's £250, £300, that doesn't equal quality and performance. Now, the next myth is about arch support. Now, arch support is not necessarily essential. Now, while arch support can be helpful for some runners with specific foot conditions, most runners actually don't need a hell of a lot of it. Our bodies are designed to have natural arches, and overly supportive shoes can weaken the muscles in your feet. So just look into it, right? And this is where I think it's really important to talk about sort of gait analysis. It's worth spending whatever it is in your local store, and some of them do it for free, to get your gait analysed. Arch support's a funny one, right? And I think it's very, very individual, but you don't need to sort of think that it is essential, because your foot is going to be different to the person running next to you. Okay, the next myth is about mileage of your shoes. Now, there's a myth out there that you need to retire them like after like 300 miles or something, which is complete nonsense. Simon's still going along in his Super Blast, which have probably done about 500 miles, and they're still like on the outsole like new. The key to this, and key to wear and tear on your running shoes, is to see how you get on, right? Because they're all built differently, and they will differ versus quality and different compounds in the midsoles as well. And on the outsole, some of the outsoles, like if they've got exposed EVA on the outsole, will get chewed up quicker than, let's say, if something's got a lot of rubber coverage like this. Okay, so they're all different. You don't need 100% to base it on the mileage in the shoe, and it will differ as you as a runner, how your running form is, what your body weight is, and what you're using them for. Now, my shoes get used up quicker than a lot of people's because I'm down the canal toe paths, which are like gravel sections, so the outsole's getting stripped to pieces. So it's very dependent, okay? So there's no sort of hard rule on this mileage target, but just look at your shoes, watch them carefully, look if you've got, you know, high spots of wear, they're starting to collapse a little bit on the midsole, it's starting to flatten out a little bit. They're probably signs that it might be worth thinking about replacing them instead of thinking about the miles. And the last trend is that the latest technology guarantees performance. Now, I've got here the Hoka Rocket X2, you know, cutting edge stuff, carbon plate, Piba foam in here. It's a rocker, it's lightweight, it's a fast shoe, people, incredibly fast. shoe. But this doesn't necessarily guarantee performance. It's easy to get caught up in the hype of these new shoes, but just because this shoe is fast for me doesn't mean it's going to be fast for you. So my point is, and I appreciate that on YouTube here we hype up a lot of shoes, but just take it all with a pinch of salt, okay? The latest technology, you know, the Alphafly 3 or the Vaporfly 3 or whatever you're being told to buy, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. And you don't need to be spending £250, okay? So take a step back. You don't need to buy the latest stuff. You can get like last year's model, the year before model, and it'll probably do about the same sort of thing. Okay, people, so there we go. Some myths debunked. Let me know in the comments. Have you got some myths that need debunking? I'm not sure I like that word, but anyway, it's kind of awesome. Right, so there we go, people. I hope that's useful, but there is some BS out there about running shoes, okay? I'm not saying I know everything, and again, you're going to disagree with some of these things in the comments, but just take some of that stuff out there that's out there with a pinch of salt. I appreciate now on YouTube there's shoe reviews coming at you left, right and centre. There's people like me getting sent stuff and we're reviewing it, and there's people like, I don't know, journalists who are getting paid to write reviews, nice things and all that sort of stuff and whatever, right? There's a lot of information out there, but there's also a lot of BS out there, and hopefully this video's cut through some of that, and that was the aim. But thanks for sticking around to the end of the video, people. I'll dive in the comments once this video drops, and I'll catch you later.